Hi everyone, I'm Caroline and welcome back to Musicians Inspiring Musicians. This is the second video in the C Major Segovia Scale series. In the first video, if you did not watch it already, you might want to check it out. I taught you the C Major Segovia Scale and how to play it and all the shifts and everything like that. So today we're going to use the same scale, but we're going to do a little more with it. We're going to have a more structured rhythm and we're going to do some different right hand exercises with it. And this will help your playing so much immensely. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to use my metronome. So the metronome I use is on my phone. That way it's just always with me. I use the free Pro metronome app. Looks like this, works great. So I am going to set my metronome. I'm in 4/4 and 60 beats per minute. You can use an actual metronome, obviously. If you don't have either, they have websites where you can use a metronome online. So you want to use your metronome for this video. That way we're going to work on actually playing with a certain rhythm. So we're going to do the same exact C major scale. We're going to play it though with whole notes. So 4 beats per each note and at 60 beats per minute. We're going to keep it nice and slow, nice and steady. The goal with this is not only to play the correct notes, obviously, in the correct scale pattern, but think about trying to connect the notes. I had mentioned this in the last video, how you want to try and connect them together so there's not like a gap. So you don't want the gap, you want to try and connect them like that. Especially when you're holding these long whole notes, you'll really hear that if there's a gap. Now, the first time through when we do this together, I am going to play it with my index and middle finger on my right hand. I'm going to alternate I, M, I, M. I'm going to use rest stroke. If you are a classical or a fingerstyle player, try using I and M as well and making sure you're alternating. If you are not a classical or fingerstyle player and you're using a pick, that is totally fine as well. Just try and maybe pick down, up, down, up. Just make sure you're alternating. That's the point of this. Try and get your right hand to alternate more too. So let's try it together with 60 beats per minute and whole notes. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job! So that was our C Major Segovia Scale, 60 beats per minute as whole notes. It might seem super slow, super drawn out, but you want to do it that way in the beginning, especially just because we're going to build upon that. And this way, when you take it really slow, you can really pay attention to everything that's going on, making sure you're alternating, making sure your left hand fingers are curling, you're behind the fret, you're playing the correct notes, you're listening to see if everything is ringing out. So another thing you can do after practicing it at 60 beats per minute with whole notes, and if you're playing with your right hand fingers, trying I and M, then I want you to try it with M and A, then I and A, then A, M, I, and all of this with rest stroke and free stroke. I know that might sound like a lot of patterns, so you don't have to do all of this in one sitting or even in one day. You can break it up. Maybe today you try it with I, M, and M, A, free stroke, maybe even rest stroke. Then the next day maybe I, A, M, I, free stroke, rest stroke. You can alternate it however you want. If you want to try all of them in one sitting, totally go for it. But sometimes it's a lot, and especially if you have a lot to practice and a lot you want to learn and just kind of focus on one thing, it's okay to break things up throughout different days of the week. So let me just show you a little close-up of my right hand so you can kind of see how I'm alternating. So here's a closer look of my right hand, what it's doing. I'm going to start with I, M, just keep it I, M, keep it free stroke right now. I'm not going to play the scale at the 60 with the whole notes, just so you can kind of, see more a little bit if you want to see it a little faster. But this is what it looks like. So that was with free stroke. If I did it with rest stroke. There you go. And you want to remember when you're playing with your fingers, you want to think about keeping them curled and always trying to move from the bigger muscle and not like the little ones here. And you don't want to like pull up either. You want to think about pushing into the string. Okay, so this practice session that you have, your challenge is to practice the C Major Segovia Scale with whole notes at 60 beats per minute and trying the different finger combinations. I, M, A, I, A, M, I, free stroke, and rest stroke. Again, you do not have to try this in one sitting. This is something really good to break up over a few days, alternate what you're doing each day. Keeps it fun, keeps it interesting, keeps variety. I gave you the metronome marking of 60. It is slow as whole notes. If you need it slower than that, that is totally fine. I wouldn't aim for trying to do it faster than that right now because we are going to build upon it with different and shorter rhythms. But again, if 60 as whole notes is too fast because it's still something very new, by all means slow it down. I would rather have it be super slow and you know what you're doing and it's very precise than too fast and you can't keep up with it. If you are looking for videos on more in depth on the proper sitting position with classical guitar and more about the left hand and the right hand, I will link some videos that I made below. That way you can have some basics to go off of. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you, and I hope you participate in the Segovia C Major Scale Challenge. Rock on and have a great day.